Russia is so massive that when kids in Moscow are waking up for school, kids in Vladivostok are already asleep. It spans 11 time zones. But here's the crazy part. Take the world's second and third largest countries, combine them, and Russia is still bigger. Today we're counting down the top 10 largest countries on Earth, and the geography of these giants will shock you. Some hide deserts the size of continents. Some are almost completely empty. Stick around, because the closer we get to number 1, the stranger this gets. Number 10, Algeria. 2.38 million square kilometers. Starting our list at number 10, we have Algeria. Now, I know what you're thinking, Africa in the top 10? Absolutely. Algeria is the largest country on the entire African continent, and here's what makes its geography genuinely insane. Roughly 80% of this nation is covered by the Sahara Desert. Imagine a country where 4/5 of the land is endless sand, with dunes reaching 500 feet, taller than a 40-story building, made entirely of sand that moves with the wind. Almost 90% of Algerians never live there. They cluster along a narrow green ribbon on the Mediterranean coast. So while Algeria looks enormous on a map, the lived-in Algeria is a thin coastal line, and behind it lies one of the emptiest places on Earth. Number 9, Kazakhstan. 2.72 million square kilometers. Next up is Kazakhstan, holder of a title most people never think about, the largest landlocked country in the world. No coastline, no ocean access, nothing but land in every direction for thousands of kilometers. Kazakhstan is dominated by steppe, rolling grassland so vast you can drive 8 hours and see almost no change. It's also home to Baikonur, where Yuri Gagarin left for space in 1961, and rockets still climb out of that steppe today. And then there's the Aral Sea, once the 4th largest lake on the planet, now mostly salt flats and rusting ships, drained by Soviet irrigation. It's one of the starkest human-made changes visible from orbit. Number 8, Argentina. 2.78 million square kilometers. Argentina claims 8th place, and it may be the most varied country on this list. Top to bottom, it stretches nearly 3,500 kilometers, like going from Norway to the Sahara. In the north, subtropical jungle and Iguazu Falls, a wall of water wider than Niagara. In the middle, the Pampas, some of the most fertile farmland on Earth, which is why Argentine beef became legendary. In the west, Aconcagua, the tallest mountain outside Asia. In the far south, Patagonia, glaciers, and the frozen edge of the inhabited world. One country, almost every climate a planet can offer. Number 7, India. 3.28 million square kilometers. Number 7 is India, where the numbers stop making sense. It's only 7th by area, yet holds more people than any nation on Earth, over 1.4 billion. Combine the populations of Russia, Canada, Australia, Brazil, and the United States, and India still outnumbers them. Its geography is a fortress. To the north stand the Himalayas, which blocked invasions for millennia and still control the weather. Those mountains force the monsoon to dump its rain over the subcontinent, meaning one geographic feature effectively feeds a billion people. To the west, the Thar Desert. To the south, a tropical coastline on 2 seas. India isn't just big. It's sealed off, and that shaped its entire history. Number 6, Australia. 7.69 million square kilometers, and now we take a big jump in scale. Australia is number 6, and it is the only country in the world that is also an entire continent. But the truly wild part is how empty it is. About 70% of Australia is arid, the outback. Almost everyone lives on the coastal edges, so you could draw a ring around the country and fit nearly the entire population inside it. Australia is roughly the size of the continental United States, with about 8% of the people. It also holds the Great Barrier Reef, the largest living structure on Earth, visible from space. And because it drifted in isolation for 50 million years, most of its animals exist nowhere else. Geography built an entirely separate branch of life there. Number 5, Brazil. 8.51 million square kilometers. Brazil takes 5th place and dominates a continent, bordering every South American nation except Chile and Ecuador. Its defining feature is the Amazon, the largest rainforest on Earth, holding around 10% of every known species alive today. The Amazon River moves more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined. So much that fresh water is still detectable in the Atlantic over 100 kilometers offshore. And there's a phenomenon most people never hear about: flying rivers. Amazon trees release so much moisture that invisible rivers of vapor drift across the continent and water farmland thousands of kilometers away. Cut down the forest and you break the plumbing of a continent. Number 4, China. 9.6 million square kilometers. Number 4 is China, where the extremes get absurd. China contains the highest point on the planet, Everest, on its border with Nepal, and one of Asia's lowest, hottest depressions, the Turpan Basin, below sea level and baking at over 50 degrees Celsius. Here's a detail almost no one knows. Despite spanning enough distance for 5 time zones, all of China runs on one. In the far west, the sun can rise at 10 in the morning. China also holds the Tibetan Plateau, nicknamed the third pole because it stores more ice than anywhere outside the Arctic and Antarctic. The rivers flowing off it supply nearly 2 billion people. One plateau, 2 billion lives. Number 3, United States. 9.83 million square kilometers. Third place goes to the United States, whose size is constantly underestimated because of how maps are drawn. Alaska alone is bigger than Texas, California, and Montana combined. Yet on most maps it's shrunk into a box in the corner. The US spans 6 time zones and nearly every terrain: temperate rainforest, the Mojave Desert, the Great Plains, Florida wetlands, Hawaiian volcanoes, and Arctic tundra. Geography also built its economy. The Mississippi system gives it more navigable inland waterway than most of the rest of the world combined, making it absurdly cheap to move grain and goods. 2 oceans gave it security. Geography handed America a very good hand. Number 2, Canada. 9.98 million square kilometers. At number 2, Canada, a country of staggering contradictions. It has the longest coastline of any nation on Earth, over 200,000 kilometers. Walk it without stopping and it would take more than 30 years. Canada also holds around 20% of the planet's fresh water and about 2 million lakes, more than the rest of the world combined. And yet, almost the entire population lives within 160 kilometers of the southern border, which means most of Canada is effectively wilderness. There are places up north that have never had a permanent human footprint. In a world that feels fully mapped, Canada proves huge parts of it are still empty. Number 1, Russia. 17.1 million square kilometers. And finally, number 1, Russia. 17.1 million square kilometers, about 11% of all land on the planet. Russia is larger than the surface area of Pluto, a single country on Earth bigger than an entire dwarf planet. Russia spans 11 time zones and 2 continents, from the Baltic Sea to the Pacific. The Trans-Siberian Railway takes about 7 days end to end without stopping. Russia holds Lake Baikal, the deepest lake on Earth, containing roughly 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh water. And it holds Siberia, where Oymyakon has hit minus 67 degrees Celsius, the coldest permanently inhabited place on the planet. And here's the part that redefines how you should picture it. 3/4 of Russia's land is in Asia, but 3/4 of its people live in Europe. The eastern half of the largest country in the world is, by population, nearly empty. You can fly for hours over Siberian forest and see no roads, no towns, no lights at night, just taiga stretching to the curve of the earth. What these giants really tell us: look at all 10 together and a pattern appears. Being big does not mean being full. Algeria has its desert, Australia its outback, Canada its tundra, Russia its Siberia. In almost every giant, most of the land is barely inhabited and the people squeeze into a thin habitable margin shaped by water, temperature, and terrain. Geography isn't just lines on a map. It decides where people can live, what they can grow, how rich they get, and who they fight with. These 10 countries cover roughly half of all land on Earth. Understanding their shape is understanding how the modern world got arranged. Closing, so there you have it, the 10 largest countries on Earth and the geography that makes each one strange. From a nation 4/5 buried in sand, to one with more lakes than the rest of the world combined, to one that outsizes a dwarf planet. If this changed how you picture the world map, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe for more geography deep dives, and comment which country surprised you most. Kazakhstan's vanished sea? Canada's endless coastline? Russia's empty east? I read every comment, and there's another video on screen right now that pairs perfectly with this one. Thanks for watching.